Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars Titanium series Hyena Bomber, released in 2009. This droid vessel was first seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars. For those who know me, I really enjoyed CIS and I love the idea of a droid army. A bomber is a great idea in my opinion and fills in the gap in the CIS Navy that we never saw. We had fighters and interceptors, so it only makes sense that a bomber would come into play during the Clone Wars at some point. Now as you can see, the design of the Hyena bomber comes right from the Vulture droid, the Trade Federation starfighter, and I like that idea. It links the two together and it makes it seem like it's coming from the same faction, which technically it is, it's CIS. And just like the Vulture droids, this Hyena bomber does have a walker mode, and it looks very awesome. I recommend you go on Google, type in Hyena droid bomber walker mode. It looks kind of cool. The front wings break off into like two different sections, almost like an insect, and it looks very unique. So for the size of this vessel, it measures in at 2.5 inches long. So everybody should know how my videos go by now. We're going to take a quick look at the mold, the paint, put on a stain, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. So let's kick this video off looking at the mold. Like in all my videos, I will go over all the major sections of the item. Then we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So let's begin with the Hyena droid's wings, which are very unique, nicely detailed. I love the centerpiece here. As you can tell, one is larger than the other. And I think it looks cool. Unique paint job as well. And that's the same on this side. Looking good. We can see the interiors are nicely done as well. Very nice. Very unique. And that's what I like about it. Now for the main body, we have our pylons on the top and bottom. Similar to other droid fighters. We have our sensors or droid head. Looking good. Ordnance pod. Right here is 2 laser cannons. Looking at the bottom, we have another 2 laser cannons, another ordnance pod, and this right here is very unique. It's basically a secondary head, or secondary eye as it's called, which is pretty cool. Then we have a peg port for the stand, as well as copyright crap. So all in all, a very unique ship, a very familiar ship, and I think it has a lot going for it. So let's get a closer look. So having a closer look, we'll begin with the wings. As we can see, we have a little paint chip here, but moving down, we have 2 recessed lines, and then another 2 recessed lines. And then we have the front of the wing, which looks pretty interesting. I love the design here. More little recesses, painted in. Looking good. We have our centerpiece here. Fantastic detailing. I think that looks great. And that's the same for this side. The 2 wings are identical. There's no real differences between the two, and they look amazing. Now for the interiors, you can see it's nicely done, very smooth, some beautiful molding right there. Looking good. And then for the bottom section, again, nicely done. Beautiful paint job as well, in my opinion. Excellent stuff. Now for the interior, we'll look at the pylon. Looking very cool. I love the shape here. Wrapping around. Excellent stuff. I think that came out great. Pretty cool. Now the other side is identical, so we'll just skip that for now. For the main body, look at all that detail. Now to some it may seem like there's not a lot, but it does actually have a lot going on here. Now there's no wash to fill this in. This is dust. I couldn't get it all off. But for the most part, we have our laser cannons. Some beautiful line work here. Nicely done. I think that came out pretty good, actually. Going back, we have our pylon connecting to the main body. And nothing's flat, as you can see. It's all raised up. Pretty cool. Moving back, we have some more recessed lines. Our engine right here, nicely molded. We have our head, looking good, some nice line work here, pretty dope. Paint's a little off, but what are you going to do? We have our ordnance bay, 3 recesses there, More recesses going around it, and of course our engine. Looking very unique. And then for the backs, you can see the engine's right there, a little dusty. I tried to clean it as best as I could. This is an old ship in my collection, so it's seen some stuff. And now moving on to the bottom section, we have at first our secondary head or secondary eye, and I think it looks great. We have the nice star shape and some panel lines going back, looking good. Our engines, more line work. Our pylon, copyright crap, more line work. Laser cannons, peg port. And now here we have our ordnance pod, which looks nice. One little gripe I have is there should be a line or a recess going from right here to this point, because in the show, this opens up and the droids were loading it full of bombs. So, I think they could have did that, but for all the other detail, I think they did an amazing job. Coming on this side, wow, can't focus today. We have some more recessed lines, our engines right here, and then coming down to the main body, looking very nice. All in all, a very interesting ship, and nicely detailed. And that does it for the mold. Hopefully I covered everything. I had a little issue focusing on different parts. I don't know why. Maybe my camera was messing up. Who knows? But for the most part, what did we see? Some beautiful line work and some great design elements here. So it may not look like it has tons of detail, but what it does have, it counts, and I think it's a beautiful job. So now let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at the paint on the Hyena bomber, this baby features 5 different colors. First color up is a nice light bluish gray. It's the main color of the ship. We can see it on the top, the head, looking good. The aft section and the bottom, very nice. The exteriors of the wings, as well as the interiors, very nicely painted in my opinion. Looking good. Now for the second color, we have a dark blue or dark teal. It's some sort of green mixed with this blue, and it gives off the feeling of a blue spruce pine tree or Christmas tree. It has that type of look, and that color is on the main body, and I think those colors go well together. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. It's also on the pylons, the underneath section, and of course the wings, where I think it really shines with this beautiful zigzag and curve here. Very nice, as well as the bottom, looking good. That's the same on this wing, looking dope. Moving on, we do have some gray on the tips of the wings, looking very nice. And that's also on the interiors. That's the same for this side. And that's not it, because they actually use this gray to fill in some lines here and there, such as the ordnance bay slots right here, the laser cannons on the bottom section, more laser cannons, this stripe right here on the ordnance bay, as well as all these nice panel lines on the secondary eye. Moving on from the main body and pylons, there is also gray on the wing itself and these little slits here and there, which is very nice. I think it's a great thing to add more color to these vessels. And for some reason, the gray goes very well with the light blue and this dark teal. And it's also on the interiors. Right there, and the 2 stripes back here. Looking good. That's the same for this side. Awesome. Now, for our second to last color, we have dark gray, which is located right here where the pylon meets the wing, and it actually wraps all the way around. And you can see how the paint just continues all throughout here to the front, and that's the same for this side. No real difference. There is a little chip here, I will admit that, but for the most part, the paint's pretty nice. Now, just like the other gray, that paint is actually used as well, and we have little dark areas right here on the wings. And I believe it's on the bottom as well. Yes, right here. And here. And finally, right next to the secondary eye, which I think looks really cool. And speaking of that secondary eye, we have our final color, which is a nice red. which is in a star formation, looking good. And then for our main eyes on the head there. A little uneven, but for the most part, very nice. So that does it for the mold as well as the paint. A very unique ship and nicely painted in my opinion. So now let's put this baby back on a stand compared to some other ships and then we'll be done. And just like other Titanium series ships, it comes with an awesome looking stand, pegging in a port like so. And just like that, everybody, you are good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Titanium Series Hyena bomber seen in the center. First, on the right hand side, we have the Republic Y-Wing Starfighter, another great piece. And finally, on the left hand side, we have the Trade Federation Droid Starfighter, also known as a Vulture Droid, with its CIS color scheme. Very nice addition to the collection. This particular mold carried over from the Episode 1 line of die-cast ships. And if you're interested in seeing reviews of some of these ships, check the links in the description below. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Titanium Series Hyena bomber released in 2009. Now, filming this for you guys, I don't know if it's bad luck or I'm just having a bad day, but I had a big problem with it. I couldn't find the ship. My thumbnail photo keeps getting blurry no matter what I do, so I had to keep retaking it. And then filming this ship, I don't know if maybe my camera's messed up or I'm just tired. Or, what the heck was that? Well, there you go, everybody. Now my house is shaking. So you just saw the camera jump. This thing's cursed. Putting all that aside, let's go over what I like about the ship. For the mold, I think they did a very excellent job. We have line work, nice modules on there, and everything that should be on this is, and I think they did an amazing job. For the paint, there's no wash. The red in the sensors is a little uneven, as I keep saying, but besides those 2 points, which are negative, I love the main colors here. I think they work very well together, and mixed with the grays and dark grays, it really stands out. And you can't forget, it does come with a nice stand to make it blend in with the rest of the collection, which I'm very thankful for. So that's everything I have to say today about the Hyena bomber. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, and if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.